Hello, everyone. My name is Willie Merel, and for my individual contribution to this group project, I will be focusing on one of my favorite chapters, which is Chapter 3, titled Sweet Auburn, from King Alive. This chapter is significant because it focuses on Martin Luther King Jr.'s early childhood in Atlanta, specifically in the Sweet Auburn neighborhood. Sweet Auburn was one of the most successful black communities in America during segregation. It was filled with black-owned businesses, churches, professionals, and leaders. In many ways, it showed what black excellence looked like in a society built on racial inequality. Growing up in Sweet Auburn gave King something many black children in the South did not have at the time: a strong sense of dignity, possibility, and identity. He grew up surrounded by people who were succeeding despite discrimination. He saw examples of leadership every day through business owners, educators, ministers, and especially through his father and mother. One of the most important themes in this chapter is the influence of family. King's father, known as Daddy King, was strong, disciplined, outspoken, and deeply committed to justice. His mother, Alberta King, brought compassion, grace, music, and emotional warmth into the home. Together, they helped shape King's balance of courage and empathy. Those qualities would later define his leadership style. Another key moment in this chapter is King's first painful encounter with racism. As a child, he had a white friend he regularly played with, but once they became school age, the boy's parents no longer allowed the friendship because King was black. That experience deeply hurt him and opened his eyes to the reality of segregation. It was one of the first moments that helped him understand racism not just as a law, but as something that damaged human relationships. This chapter is also important because it shows the role of the black church in King's development. Church was not just a place of worship. It was a center of community, leadership, hope, and resistance. King was surrounded by powerful sermons, music, faith, and messages about justice. Long before he became a national speaker, he was learning the power of words, moral vision, and public leadership. There are two major ways this chapter connects to the thesis of King as a modern founding father. First, the original founding fathers helped shape the political structure of America, but they did not create freedom equally for everyone. King later challenged the nation to live up to its own promises of liberty and equality. In this chapter, we see where that mission began. His childhood experiences gave him the moral foundation to help redefine American democracy for all citizens. Second, founding fathers are remembered not only for laws, but for vision. Sweet Auburn gave King a vision of what America could become, a society where black people could thrive, lead, and succeed. He carried that vision into the civil rights movement and used it to inspire national change. My personal reflection is that this chapter revealed that great leaders are often shaped long before the world knows their names. We usually focus on King's speeches and marches, but this chapter reminds us that leadership begins in the home, in community, and in early life experiences. What stood out to me most was that King experienced both love and injustice at a young age. That combination helped create a leader who could confront hate without losing his humanity. Overall, Sweet Auburn is a powerful chapter because it shows us that Martin Luther King Jr. did not appear overnight. He was shaped by his family, his faith, his pain, opportunity, and purpose. Those early foundations prepared him to become one of the most important leaders in American history. And that is why I chose this chapter as my favorite chapter, as it really resonated with me, as my early childhood helped shape me to become the leader that I am today, as the things that I've seen as well helped shape me, my faith, my mother, my father, all those contributing factors. Unlike King, I did not grow up in a affluent community or a community where I could see people of my color or people that I identified with succeeding. The only things that I saw were people that looked like me, that were opportunists taking advantage of others and opportunities to create something for themselves, but not in a good way. And so I decided to focus my attention on education and really delve into that part. For that reason, King is an inspiration. He inspired me personally to do everything I could, not just to be better for myself, but to give back to the community, as I will be doing with my school that I will be opening called Rhodes Academy, School of Business and Financial Literacy. Key components of that school will be to give back to the community that helped shape us, that it's not just one for all. That it's not just a free for all there, and we're not just individuals. We are a collective, and we need to help each other out. Thank you so very much for listening to me today.